challenging to navigate high school. You want to make a great impression. What does the first day look like? It kind of depends on your personality. Get the bigger person, step out of the situation. Is high school harder than 8th grade? Do not go around school being fake. Use your time wisely in classes and how to stay organized. Don't be scared to talk to people. It is okay to not have a big group of friends. Should I be taking college classes? You know who you are and you know your worth. Stay accountable for your work.
My snipers hit their marks and your guards fall down from a rifle.
What is up, YouTube? My name is Layla. For those of you who don't know, and for those of you who do know, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be bringing you guys a freshman advice video. I know for incoming freshmen, it can be really challenging to navigate high school, especially in those first few weeks. So with that being said, let's hop right into these tips and advice. So I asked you guys on some different platforms to ask me some questions for this video. The first question is it better to fit in or stand out? Honestly, I would say it kind of depends on your personality, but for me, I know that it helped kind of stand out and be doing my own thing in high school just because there's so many kids in high school and you want to make a great impression. The next question is how to determine real friends from fake ones. Sometimes there's really no way to determine it because people can switch up like that. Do not go around school being fake, like talking about one friend but then going to be friends with her. Like, a lot of that stuff will get you involved in mess in school. It is really important to also notice some of those red flags in friends. Like, if they're throwing you off, you might as well cut them off, y'all, because fake friends are a real thing. Jealousy is a real thing, and that happens a lot in high school. So my biggest tip that I would say is to kind of stay out of the mess, stay out of the way. And I would also make sure that your group of friends is people that align with you. Is high school harder than 8th grade? So ultimately my answer is going to be yes. There's a lot of different things in high school that you don't experience in 8th grade, and I feel like 8th grade is kind of more of like babysitting you for your high school experience. But overall, high school is you're on your own. And for freshmen, I know at my school they're a little bit more supported. Like, the freshmen have their own principal and everything, but most times whenever you get into high school, it is going to be a big shift from 8th grade to high school. What should I do if I get caught up in mess? Honestly, y'all, I've never thought that mess was worth my academic career. It always involves talking back and forth to people, animosity, fighting can even occur. So my biggest thing I would say is if you get caught up in some mess, y'all, do not fight, especially at school, because at the end of the day, it's not worth it, and the consequence is not you worth missing out on your education. I would just say be the bigger person, step out of the situation, apologize, make sure that you are picking your friends accordingly, and just riding with your wave and kind of blocking out all of the negativity, because that's another big thing in high school, y'all. People are very negative. So I just say block out all of the negativity. If you end up getting caught up in mess, just try to remove yourself from it in the most respectful way, even if it is something that pisses you off, y'all. Next question, what classes did you take your freshman year? So during my freshman year, I actually was only ahead in one subject, which was social studies. So I ended up taking AP government for social studies. I was also taking environmental science, algebra 1, and also regular English 1. My elective classes were based around my STEM pathway, and I ended up taking like an intro to biomedical sciences class as well. But overall, my classes for my freshman year were not hard. And then for my PE class, I was playing volleyball, so that was my PE class. I don't think that I took that many AP classes and dual enrollment classes, but definitely for my sophomore year, I kind of stepped it up and I was taking more dual enrollment and advanced placement classes. The next question is, should I be taking college classes? Yes, you should. Now, I will say that the workload in college classes whenever you're in high school is a bit much, and it's kind of like something that you have to get used to, because when I was taking my dual enrollment biology class, my professor would come in every day, she would give us a lecture, and then we would have our tests. But like literally anything in between that was studying on our time. So I will say that dual enrollment classes do take a lot of effort from the person taking the class, but it also helps you in the long run because you do earn high school and college credits for taking dual enrollment or advanced placement classes. How do you deal with peer pressure? I don't feel like that I've ever been in a situation where I felt peer pressured, but I will say that if you are in that situation where you feel peer pressured, the best thing to do is to go tell a trusted adult, especially if it's something that you know you should not be doing. Even if you are scared to open up to an adult, it is ultimately going to be the best decision in that situation, because you never want to put yourself in a situation where you're uncomfortable around your peers, or you don't want to be around your peers. Overall, it would help de-escalate the situation a lot more if an adult is involved in the situation. situation. But if you also are not comfortable with telling an adult at school, I would go home and talk to it about my parents. It is important to have trusted adults and people that you can confide in high school, especially in situations where you feel like you are being peer pressured. What does the first day look like? The first day is going to mostly be like icebreakers, having conversations, getting to know your peers, getting to know your teachers, and kind of just getting a feel for high school. Mostly on the first day, the biggest thing that I will say is talk, y'all. If your teachers are asking you to stand up, say your name, whatever, I would highly encourage y'all to participate in conversations, because that is another way that you can start to make friends. People will see you, people will kind of see your personality when you stand up and talk. So it is very important to kind of get yourself out there and just make yourself known. Even if you are uncomfortable on the first day, I promise y'all are gonna sit in the classroom with the same people for 10 months, so you might as well speak. What should I be prepared for? Coming into high school, some things that you should be prepared for. IDs. Most high schools make you wear IDs, and I will say my school is very strict on having your ID every day. Maybe dress code, kind of staying into dress code, and it might be more stricter than it is in middle school. Also, teachers, y'all. Teachers are not as easy to communicate with in high school, and I've had multiple issues with teachers that I just wasn't vibing with. But it is very important to learn your teachers email, learn how to send an email, be able to communicate with your teachers so that you can stay on top of your grades. Also, bell-to-bell schedules. So if you have a certain amount of time to get between one class and the other, that is something that takes some getting used to, because I know most schools make you use the bathroom in between the time that you have to switch classes. And for me, I was taking third floor of one building all the way to third floor of another building without a bathroom break. Another thing I would say to get used to in high school, y'all, is growing away from old friends. This happened to me, and in the beginning I was kind of sad, but at the same time, in high school is when a lot of people start to find themselves, find what they're interested in. And if you and your friends happen to grow apart, I want y'all to know that it is absolutely okay, and it's nothing to necessarily like fall out behind. But losing friends is a part of high school. Growing away from people, meeting new people is all a part of high school, but it does take some getting used to as well. The next question is, how do you balance sports and school? So for me, for my freshman year, I was playing volleyball, and the main way that I tried to manage my time between school and sports was doing my homework before I got home, which I told y'all in my last back to school video that I do not recommend y'all doing this. But if you have a really busy packed schedule, I say to use your time wisely in classes, and if you have any downtime, try to get your schoolwork done, because I know I was going straight into practice after school, and then after that I would literally be so tired. So the best tip I can say for balancing sports, school, and in my case now YouTube, is time management, y'all. Time management is literally going to be your best friend in high school, because the quicker you get things done, the more efficient you get things done, and the faster you're able to do that, the more productive you're able to be. And it overall just helps you in school, outside of school, and it's also going to help you build a certain level of discipline. So when first coming into high school, definitely getting into a routine and staying on top of your time is the most important thing. How to have fun freshman year. So I will say go to every single game that you can, y'all. Football games and basketball games were my favorite thing to do my freshman and sophomore year. I was so excited. I would dress up in my school colors and everything, because I guess like showing school pride and kind of showing up for my school, showing up for people that go to my school, it all just kind of made my experience in high school and finding connections so much better. And I was connecting with people at games, connecting with people outside of games, and it was an overall great experience. It's fun. It just gives you something to do. So do not be a homebody when it's time for those games, football games, homecoming. I would say pop out to all the events, y'all, because that is going to make your high school experience 100 times better. Is it hard to make friends? For me, it was not hard to make friends, mostly because one, I was coming into school with people that I already knew, and two, my personality just gives off like, y'all can't tell me I'm not a vibe. But anyway, making friends is not hard if you don't make it hard. Like literally, if you see somebody that you want to talk to, go up and talk to them. Go up and sit and have lunch with somebody that you see is sitting by themselves, because ultimately you might make the best friend of your life. I know that me and Michaela, like, we clicked off of having one class together, and then after that we just became like this. So definitely don't be scared to talk to people. Do not be scared to make friends. It is okay to make new friends in high school. For other people that are more reserved, it is okay to not have friends or not have a big group of friends in high school as well, y'all. I feel like it's not really talked about that much, but you're not required to make friends, even though it is a big part of high school. But I will say that there is somebody for everybody in high school, y'all. You will find people that you didn't even know that you would click with in high school. Another tip I will say to you guys is to get comfortable with your school counselors, because if you have any issues in your classes, with your teachers, with your scheduling or any of that, it is very important that you know your counselor and know what you need to talk to your counselor about when your counselor is available and things like that, because ultimately your counselor is going to be your biggest help with those kind of issues. The next question is it better to have friends or stay to yourself? So this kind of ties into the other questions that I answered about having friends. But like I said, depending on the kind of person you are, depending on how outgoing you are or not outgoing you are, it's not hard to make friends. Having a small group of friends, even if it's not many, will help you so much when navigating through high school, because it's always good to have somebody by your side, always good to have somebody to talk to, especially at school, y'all, because school can get kind of tiring and draining. So it is cool to have one or two people that you kind of hang around, talk with. Once again, if you do choose to be more of a loner and stay by yourself, that is okay too. Number one thing I will say about friends in high school, friends in general, best friends, boy best friends, girl best friends, acquaintances, any of that, do not worry about who likes you. Do not worry about who likes you and who doesn't, what people think about you, because ultimately you know who you are and you know your worth. And I would hope that other people's opinions do not affect how you feel about yourself. You have to be very careful about the energy that you bring around you. So do not worry about what people are saying about you, if people like you or not, because as long as you like yourself, there's nothing to be worried about. How to stay organized. So if your school gives you a planner, or you already have a planner, or you're planning on getting a planner, get a planner, y'all, because that's gonna help so much. Another thing y'all saw in my other back to school video was that I got sticky notes to write down my homework. That's another thing that helped me stay organized and stay on top of my homework. I will also stay accountable for your work. Do not ask your teacher if you can turn in an assignment 3 weeks late, y'all, because in high school it's very different from 8th grade, and when the answer is no, it's kind of gonna be a different response. Like when your work is a 0, it's a 0. So stay accountable and stay on top of your work in high school, and make sure to get yourself a schedule so that you know what you have to do when, and so that you do not fall behind in any areas. The last question is, what should I look forward to? Like I was telling you guys earlier, games are such a fun thing that I like to participate in. Also, my school offers clubs, electives, and other school events that I always like to participate in and always like to go out to, because it just gives you something to do and it gives you more chances and opportunities to connect with your peers. So getting yourself out there really involves like going to anything school related. With that being said, y'all, that is going to be the end of this video. I hope my tips and questions brought a little bit of insight to you guys about what high school is going to be like, and I wish you guys the best on your high school journey. I love you guys, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!